Redwater, Oregon, a seemingly ordinary town nestled deep within the heart of the Pacific Northwest. A quiet town in the shadow of the Cascades where the towering peaks cast long shadows over the peaceful streets. The kind of place where everyone knows your name and secrets are hard to keep. Life here was predictable, a comforting rhythm of seasons changing and neighbors helping neighbors, until the autumn of 2024. The air grew crisp, the leaves turned golden, and an unsettling feeling began to creep into the town. That's when the silence turned sinister, when the familiar quiet of Redwater became heavy with unspoken fears. First, Sarah Jenkins, the beloved librarian, vanished without a trace. A pillar of the community known for her warm smile and endless knowledge. Her car and keys were left behind, an unsettling detail that sent shivers down the spines of the townsfolk. No struggle, no witnesses, just an empty space where Sarah once stood, leaving behind a void in the heart of Redwater. 2 weeks later, Mark Chen, a college student home for the semester, disappeared during his morning run along the forest trail. A bright young man with a promising future, now just another name on the growing list. His headphones dangled from a branch, music still playing, a haunting reminder of his last moments. Then, George Peterson, a retired carpenter known for his intricate woodwork, was gone. His loyal dog whined on the porch, a steaming cup of coffee abandoned on the table inside, untouched. 3 people, vanished. No connection between them, or so it seemed. No clues to explain their disappearances. Fear replaced trust, eroding the very foundation of their close-knit community. Doors locked early and whispers replaced friendly greetings. Neighbors eyed each other with suspicion, wondering who might be next. Redwater wasn't just quiet anymore, it was haunted by the missing, their absence a constant chilling presence. The story was only just beginning, and the secrets of Redwater were about to be unearthed. The investigation, despite the team's best efforts, had stalled completely. Days turned into weeks, and the pressure mounted. The police were overwhelmed by the sheer volume of evidence and the growing list of unsolved cases. The trail had gone cold, leaving them grasping at straws. Then, just as hope seemed lost, the letters arrived, cryptic riddles, each one personally addressed to Detective David Miles. The first read, "Where water meets stone, a secret is sown. I watch from the trees where the lost are alone." A chilling message, hinting at a location and a motive. The killer was no longer simply committing crimes, he was playing a twisted game, deliberately taunting the police with his intellect and elusiveness. Each week brought a new puzzle, a fresh challenge designed to frustrate and mislead. Each clue, meticulously crafted, led nowhere. A dead end in a labyrinth of the killer's design. Witnesses, shaken and disturbed, described a silent, shadowy figure lurking in the woods, always just out of sight. He was always watching, observing their every move, yet never truly seen, a phantom in the periphery. The killer, in a macabre display, began leaving personal items belonging to the victims in public places. Sarah's favorite bookmark, discovered on a bench at the bustling bus station, a place she frequented. Mark's cherished running watch, found abandoned on a park bench, a silent testament to his final moments. It was more than just murder, it was a cruel, calculated performance designed to inflict maximum psychological damage. A final chilling note arrived. "I'm still here, lurking in the shadows. I'm in control and you're all just playing my game." Detective Miles, haunted and driven, stared intently at the sprawling evidence board, a sudden realization dawning upon him. This isn't just a series of random murders, it's a meticulously crafted story, a dark and twisted narrative, and we're not just investigators, we're the captive audience, forced to witness his horrifying tale unfold. The break came when a hiker found Sarah Jenkins's body in a shallow grave. The scene was clean, but forensics found blue synthetic fibers and a handwritten note. "The whisper told me to." For the first time, the killer hinted at a motive. A voice, a command. Another letter arrived, rambling and personal. "I am the man who listens to the whispers." The press called him the Whisper Man. Profilers described him as intelligent, patient, and deeply disturbed, both performer and believer. The hunt was on, but the Whisper Man was still setting the rules. The case circled endlessly, until a crumpled matchbook changed everything. A partial fingerprint led to Arthur Lee Bishop, a reclusive janitor with a minor criminal record. He fit the profile invisible, unnoticed, able to move through Redwater unseen. The arrest was swift. Bishop surrendered quietly. In his basement, detectives found a soundproofed room, duct tape, rope, a vintage typewriter, and journals matching the killer's handwriting. The evidence was overwhelming. They had the Whisper Man. Redwater breathed a collective sigh of relief. The tension that had gripped the small town for weeks finally began to dissipate. Bishop was securely behind bars, awaiting trial for his heinous crimes. Justice, it seemed, was finally within reach. The nightmare seemingly over, the residents of Redwater tried to return to their normal lives, hoping to erase the dark memories. But 3 weeks later, a shocking discovery shattered the fragile peace. Bishop was found dead in his cell, an unsettling end to a disturbing case. There was no note, no confession to explain his actions or reveal any hidden truths. 2 victims, Mark Chen and George Peterson, were still missing, their fates unknown. Despite extensive searches, their bodies were never recovered, leaving a lingering sense of unease. Then, a week after Bishop's death, a chilling message arrived, reopening old wounds. Another letter arrived at the police station, addressed to the lead investigator. Same typewriter font, the same chilling tone that had haunted them before. You caught the listener, but you didn't catch the whisper. Bishop was dead, unable to confirm or deny his involvement. The typewriter used to write the letters was locked away in evidence, seemingly eliminating any possibility of it being used. Who sent the letter and what did it mean? Was Bishop the true killer, the mastermind behind the disappearances, or just a pawn in a much larger, more sinister game? The bodies of Mark and George were never found, their families left in perpetual agony. The whispers fell silent, but the questions lingered, unanswered. The case remained open. The mystery deepened with each passing day. For Redwater, the story isn't over. It's a chapter left unfinished. The real Whisper Man might still be out there, lurking in the shadows, listening, waiting, perhaps even planning his next move. In the aftermath of Bishop's death, Redwater's police station became a revolving door of witnesses, each bringing their own memories, suspicions, and fears. The interview rooms, once silent, now echoed with voices, some trembling, some defiant, all haunted by what they'd seen, or thought they'd seen. My son, he always said he heard footsteps outside his window at night. I told him it was just the wind, but now, I wonder if it was something else. I saw someone in the woods the night Mark disappeared, tall, wearing a hood, but when I told the police, they said it was just Bishop. I'm not so sure. Bishop hated George, everybody knew it. But he wasn't smart enough to pull this off. Someone else was out there. Someone nobody's talking about. People come in here, they talk. I heard Bishop was getting letters too. Threats. Maybe he was as scared as the rest of us. I saw the typewriter, it wasn't the only one, there's another out there, he's not done. Not by a long shot. Conflicting accounts swirl through the air, each statement deepening the mystery. The townspeople's fear is palpable. Some convinced Bishop was the monster, others certain the real Whisper Man still stalks Redwater's quiet streets. Faces blur in and out of focus, anguish, suspicion, regret. Every whispered word, every nervous glance, every shadow in the corner of the interview room feeds into the growing sense of dread. The truth remains elusive. In Redwater, trust is fragile, and everyone has something to hide. As the case grows colder, the echoes of the past refuse to fade, haunting the town with the chilling possibility that the Whisper Man is still listening and waiting. Inside the Redwater Police Department, the air is thick with tension. Files pile up on desks, evidence boards overflow with photos and scribbled notes, and tired detectives huddle around glowing computer screens. The investigation is at a standstill until new evidence surfaces. Detective Harris: We've been through these transcripts a dozen times. There's nothing here that ties Bishop to the threats after June. Forensic expert Leigh: I ran the prints on the latest letter. No match to Bishop or anyone in the system, but the ink, it's a rare type, discontinued for years. Someone went out of their way. Police Chief Alvarez: So, we've got a copycat, or the real Whisper Man is still out there, playing games? Cut to a close-up of a battered typewriter, its keys stained with ink. Detective Harris: Look at this. 2 typewriters, both used for the letters, but the ribbon on this one is new. Whoever sent the last thread is still active. Forensic expert Leigh: And this, found in Bishop's locker, a torn page from a book, same handwriting as the letters, but not his. It's almost like someone wanted us to find it. Police Chief Alvarez: We're chasing shadows, every lead turns cold before we can follow it. The town's scared, and so are we. Detective Harris: The calls keep coming in, more sightings, more stories, but every time we check, nothing. Red string zigzags across the evidence board, connecting faces and places, close-ups of fingerprints, a blood-stained glove, and the ominous anonymous letters. Forensic expert Leigh: One thing's for sure, whoever's doing this, they know our moves, it's like they're one step ahead. Police Chief Alvarez sighs. We need a break, or we wait, but I don't know how much longer Redwater can hold its breath. As the police sift through the fragments of the case, frustration gives way to dread. The evidence hints at a presence still lurking, watching, taunting the investigators. The Whisper Man's trail may have grown cold, but in Redwater, the chill never truly leaves. Night falls over Redwater, the town's streets empty but for the flicker of streetlights and the distant wail of a siren. Inside the evidence room, Detective Harris pores over the case files one last time. The hum of a security camera is the only sound, until a shadow moves across the monitors. Suddenly, a new folder appears on Harris's desk, slipped under the door with no sign of who left it. The folder contains a single, grainy photograph. A figure, face obscured, standing outside the police department on the night of the first threat. Tucked behind the photo is a cassette tape labeled, "Play Me." Harris inserts the tape. Static crackles. Then a distorted voice whispers, "You're looking in the wrong place. The answer was in front of you all along." Cut to surveillance footage, rewound, slowed, revealing a familiar silhouette entering the evidence room weeks earlier. The badge glints in the dim light. It's someone from within the department. Forensic expert Leigh's voice, barely audible. "That can't be, but the timestamp. Harris, that's the night the second letter appeared." The camera pans over the detectives, their faces pale. Doubt and fear ripple through the team. If the Whisper Man is closer than they ever imagined, who can they trust? The screen fades to black as the distorted voice echoes, "Do you see me now?" A final question lingers, chilling and unresolved. Has the real Whisper Man been hiding in plain sight all along? The next morning, Redwater's police station is shrouded in uneasy silence. A new witness has come forward, a local night janitor, Mr. Ellison, who claims to have seen something that could change everything. Cut to a stark interrogation room. The clock ticks loudly as Detective Harris sits across from Officer Ramirez, a key suspect now under scrutiny. The camera focuses on a thin manila envelope marked "Confidential." Detective Harris, calm, measured. "Officer Ramirez, for the record, where were you on the night of the first threat?" Ramirez, nervous. "I was on patrol Sector 4, logged my rounds. You can check the logs." Harris slides the envelope forward. Inside, a time-stamped maintenance log, signed by Ramirez. But the time overlaps with the moment the Whisper Man was caught on surveillance entering the evidence room. "Harris, you signed this maintenance log at 11:42 p.m. Security footage shows you entering the evidence room at 11:39 p.m. Care to explain the discrepancy?" Ramirez, voice trembling. I don't remember. Maybe I signed it late. The system has glitches sometimes." Harris, and yet Mr. Ellison's statement places you in the evidence room with someone else. He heard voices, two people, your voice, and a second, distorted, almost mechanical. A chill settles over the room. Harris plays a short audio clip from Ellison's phone, a faint, eerie whisper. "You know what to do." Ramirez's face drains of color. "That's not me, I swear I never spoke to anyone that night." Harris leans in, voice low. "Then who did?" The camera lingers on the envelope, then cuts to a close-up of the maintenance log, revealing a smudge of red ink matching the ink used in the Whisper Man's letters. Doubt deepens. If Ramirez isn't the Whisper Man, someone is setting them up, or manipulating the team from within. As the interview ends, the sense of paranoia grows. The Whisper Man's game is far from over and the truth is slipping further from reach. Fade to black, the audio of the distorted whisper echoing, "Trust no one, not even yourself." Visual flickering fluorescent lights illuminate a cramped conference room. Two detectives, Harris and Monroe, sit across from each other. A digital recorder blinking red between them. Papers are scattered, coffee gone cold. Detective Monroe. "You're chasing shadows, Harris. Ramirez is the link. The evidence lines up. Maintenance log, red ink, Ellison's statement. Why are we hesitating?" Detective Harris. "Because it's too clean, too staged. The Whisper Man's game is misdirection. If we lock on to Ramirez, we're doing exactly what he wants." Monroe slams a folder shut, voice rising. Monroe. "And what? Let a killer walk free? We have a duty." Harris interrupting. "We have a duty not to railroad the wrong person." I keep going back to the way the letters were left. The ink, the timing, the mechanical voice. It's like someone's inside our own house, playing us. Silence hangs. Monroe's eyes flicker with doubt. Harris slides a witness statement across the table. Harris, "We got this last night from Emily Carter, Anna Carter's sister. Listen." Emily Carter's statement. Anna said she was being watched, not just by him, the Whisper Man, but by someone she trusted, someone from the station. She wrote down a name, but it was smudged out. She was scared of more than one person. Harris reveals a crumpled post-it note, a partial fingerprint in red ink, and the faint letters, M.O. Monroe. You think there's an accomplice? Harris nods. And I think we've been looking in the wrong direction. The Whisper Man isn't working alone. Both detectives sit in heavy silence. As cracks form within the investigation, old alliances are tested. The truth is shifting, just out of reach. And somewhere in Redwater, the accomplice is watching, waiting for their next move. The distorted whisper returns, overlapping with a second, softer voice. We're not finished yet. Visual. A flashlight beam cuts through the darkness. Two officers, clad in gloves and masks, pry open a warped floorboard, revealing a hidden compartment. Sometimes, the truth hides in places left to rot, waiting for the right hands to uncover its secrets. Tonight, the investigation takes a chilling turn as officers make a discovery that will shake Redwater to its core. Officer 1. We found a concealed space beneath the northeast corner. Looks recent, boards replaced, nails still shiny. Officer 2. There's a box, locked, smells like chemicals. Officer 1. Inside photos, victim's notes written in red ink and a police badge. Serial number's been scratched out. Officer 2. This is evidence from the Carter case stuff that went missing from the evidence room last month. Officer 1. Whoever did this has access. They knew where to look and what to take. Witness, Mrs. Evelyn Grant. I saw someone outside that building 2 nights ago, tall, wearing a hood. Didn't see their face, but they moved like they knew the place, heard their phone. Ringtone was that old police call signal, you know? Like from the station radios. The twist is undeniable. The evidence was stolen from within the department, hidden by someone who walks the same halls as the investigators. The badge, the notes, and the missing evidence suggest a traitor in their midst. As dawn breaks over Redwater, the focus shifts. The hunt for the Whisper Man's accomplice is no longer just a search for a shadow, it's a race to unmask someone hiding in plain sight. The lines between hunter and hunted blur, and trust, once broken, may never be restored. In a dimly lit interrogation room, the clock ticks. Detectives gather behind mirrored glass, their faces tense with anticipation. The Whisper Man sits cuffed, his face finally revealed, Elias Mercer. For years, Mercer haunted Redwater from the shadows, orchestrating disappearances and planting false leads. Now, with the town watching, he finally speaks. Redwater was already broken, Mercer confesses, his voice cold. I just made sure the cracks showed, some needed to pay, others to remember. The detectives press on. You had help. Who was it? Mercer's eyes flicker. Officer Hale. He believed in my cause until he didn't. The motive emerges. Each victim tied to the night Mercer's sister died, a tragedy ignored by the town. Nobody cared, he says, until I made them listen. Officer Hale, the accomplice, is led away in handcuffs. Survivors and families watch through the glass, tears and relief mingling on their faces. The puzzle is complete. The accomplice exposed, the motive laid bare. Redwater's wounds are old, but tonight, truth is the first step toward healing. Dawn breaks over Redwater. Police cars drive away. The town exhales, a fragile peace settling in, but the memory of the Whisper Man lingers, a silent echo in the morning light. Redwater tries to return to normal, but the shadow of the Whisper Man clings to every street. In the days following Elias Mercer's confession, the town's relief curdles into suspicion. Friends eye each other warily. Neighbors trade hushed whispers behind closed doors. A shattered sense of safety leaves everyone on edge. At the local diner, conversations halt when a familiar face enters. Who else knew? Someone murmurs. Old grudges resurface, disputes over land, feuds left to fester. The police tip line overflows with anonymous calls, each one pointing fingers at someone else. A teacher finds a cryptic letter slipped under her door, an unfinished chess move, and the words, "Checkmate is never the end." The handwriting doesn't match Mercer or Hale. Panic spreads through the school. Parents pull their children from classes. The principal is questioned, then cleared. Witnesses begin to recall things they'd buried. A night watchman remembers a shadowy figure outside the station, weeks after Mercer's arrest. A widow finds a hidden lockbox in her late husband's shed, filled with newspaper clippings about the victims, and a map of Redwater marked with red pins. The evidence is turned over to detectives who realize the pattern doesn't fit Mercer's known movements. As rumors swirl, families barricade themselves in their homes. Lifelong friends accuse one another of secrets. The town's wounds, once scabbed over, are torn open again. The video fades on a single unsettling image, A new message scrawled on the wall of the abandoned mill. The game continues. In Redwater, paranoia is the new currency, and trust is in short supply. As Redwater unravels, one voice refuses to be drowned out by suspicion. Clara Jensen, a local journalist once dismissed as just the obituaries girl, dusts off her old recorder and begins her own search for answers. The newsroom is nearly empty. Her colleagues have either fled or fallen silent. But Clara's determination burns brighter than ever. Haunted by memories of her brother, one of the Whisperman's earliest victims, Clara's investigation is as much about healing as it is about justice. Each interview is a test of courage. She visits the widow with the lockbox, the teacher with the chess letter, and the night watchman whose story keeps changing. Some welcome her questions, grateful for someone willing to listen. Others slam doors in her face, warning her to let sleeping demons lie. She follows a trail of overlooked details, scraps of receipts, mismatched timelines, and a cryptic voicemail from an anonymous source warning, "You're getting too close." Clara's sleep is broken by nightmares and threatening messages slipped under her door. Still, she presses on, connecting dots others ignored. Late one evening, Clara uncovers a hidden folder on a public library computer. Inside, emails and surveillance images linking a prominent town official, long above suspicion, to the victims. The evidence suggests Mercer may have been a pawn in a much larger game. The final shot lingers on Clara's trembling hand as she clutches the folder, her reflection flickering in the screen. Redwater's secrets, it seems, run deeper than anyone imagined. And for Clara, the truth is no longer just a story, it's a matter of survival. Soft static, the low hum of fluorescent lights, police transcripts flicker on screen, words typed in urgent bursts. Transcript: Redwater Police Department attending DT Sanders, DT Leigh, Clara Jensen, Officer Reed Sanders, voice clipped. Let's put everything on the table. No more secrets, no more games. We have the emails, the surveillance images. Mercer's name comes up again and again. Clara, voice shaking. But Mercer was being used. Someone else, someone smarter, set him up. Look at these timestamps. The real Whisperman was always one step ahead. Cut to a dimly lit community center. Clara, date Sanders, date Leigh, and Officer Reed stand in a loose circle. Folders and evidence scattered across a table. Rain lashes the windows. Shadows loom. Clara, whispering. I traced the IP address. The library login was a diversion. Someone wanted me to find that folder. Officer Reed, defensive. So what are you saying, Jensen, that one of us is behind this? Sanders, voice cold. You've been here the longest, Reed. You always had access. The night Mercer disappeared, you were on duty, yet your logbook's missing an hour. Silence. Reed's hand trembles on his holster. Leigh steps between them, eyes darting. Let's not do this. We need proof, not paranoia. Reed, shouting. You think I'd hurt my own? I've been cleaning up your messes since day one. Clara slams a file onto the table. Photos spill out, evidence from Reed's old cases, strange patterns linking him to each crime scene. Clara, tears in her voice. Explain this, Reed. Why did the Whisperman call your house last night? Suddenly the lights flicker, a silhouette passes outside the window, unseen, watching. A distorted voice whispers through a police radio left on the table. Whisperman, distorted. So close, but not close enough. Chaos erupts. Reed bolts for the door. Sanders draws his weapon. Leigh grabs Clara and pulls her back. The screen freezes on the shadowy figure outside, a glint of silver mass catching the lightning. As trust shatters and accusations fly, the true predator circles unseen. Redwater's final reckoning has begun, and no one is safe. Dawn breaks over Redwater, but the sun brings no warmth. The town is quiet, too quiet. Police tape flutters in the wind, wrapped around the battered community center. News vans have vanished, leaving only muddy tire tracks and uneasy whispers behind. Inside her small apartment, Clara Jensen sits at her kitchen table, eyes red-rimmed, hands wrapped around a cooling mug. The faces of those lost flicker through her mind. Mercer, the victims, the colleagues she no longer trusts. Every shadow in the hallway feels like a threat. Every ring of the phone makes her flinch. Date. Sanders paces outside the station, shoulders hunched against the morning chill. He watches townsfolk pass, their glances wary, conversations hushed. The old certainties, justice, safety, friendship have all dissolved. He wonders if they ever truly existed. A memorial grows outside the library. Wilted flowers, rain-streaked photos, candles struggling against the wind. Children walk by, holding their parents' hands a little tighter. Redwater's heart beats slower now, haunted by what it has seen. Cut to Officer Reed in a holding cell, face obscured by shadow. He stares at the wall, jaw clenched, replaying every accusation and every mistake. Was he a pawn, or something worse? Even he isn't sure. That night, as thunder rolls, the postman slides an envelope under Clara's door. No return address, no name. Just a single sheet inside, typed in the same distorted font as the Whisper Man's taunts. You thought the story was over, but stories never end in Redwater, not while someone is still listening. A final image. The camera glides through empty streets, past darkened houses, finally lingering on the library steps. A silver mask half buried in mud catches the moonlight, unclaimed, watching, waiting. The screen fades to black, the echo of a whisper barely audible over the storm. Redwater will never be the same. And somewhere the game continues,